Hello, everybody, and welcome to another very special episode of The Closing Chamber with Empire Title. Um, we've got four fantastic women here at the table today, all business owners and all Latinas, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to go around and we're going to introduce each other, right? So I'm going to start here to my left.
My name is Jeanette Figueroa. I am the owner of Empire Title and Closings. I am a mother of two teenagers and three animals. And yeah, they keep me busy. So between the job and the dogs and the kids and him, I'm nonstop.
Awesome. Who else we got?
So my name is Abby Bermudez. I am the owner of Navilexis Solutions. We're an insurance brokerage and a startup business consulting. I am a mother of two amazing beings. My son is 18, Xavier. My daughter is 14, Arielis. And I am the wife to one amazing husband. I love him. You know, his name is Alex. So we've been married for 20 years. That's a little bit of me. And I have two grand pups. So my son has his own dog, and my daughter has her own dog. So I am a grandma.
Legit. Heck yeah.
Hey, my name is Catalina Gomez. I'm a professional ballet dancer. That's how I came to this country. Yes, I was with the Tulsa Ballet for 10 years. I'm the owner of CG Realty Group. I'm a real estate broker. I'm the mom of a 7-year-old. Her name is Catalina too. So they call me Cata and they call her Katika. It's my mini Catalina. And yeah, I stay super busy as well.
Awesome. Who else we got here?
So my name is Jessica Bello. I just got nervous.
No, don't being nervous.
Okay. Cut that word. My name is Jessica Bello. I'm actually a mortgage loan officer. I am with Flat Ranch. I have three beautiful and amazing daughters. They are 25, 21, and 18. And I have a son-in-law. So that's the first son I have. And, I've been doing this for 2 years, and I never thought I would be a loan officer, to be honest. But here I am.
How many years?
2.
2 years.
Yes.
Amazing.
That's awesome. All right, so we're gonna get right into it, right? So, when people ask me, what it means to own a business, right? I always tell them it's not what they think. I mean, they see everything that happens. They see the end result, but they don't see the path to the end result,
That
right?
part. Mm-hmm.
So, tell me, I can speak on my side, of course, of being a man, right? I feel like since the beginning of time, right, owning a business has kind of been like a male-driven thing. And so, but lately, women have been kicking some ass, right? So tell me what it means to you as a woman to be a business owner. So I'll start with Jeanette.
To me, to be a business owner, I mean, there's a lot of layers to it. There's a lot of your brain is kind of constantly going. It almost feels like you're never, not that you're never relaxed, but you're always constantly thinking of your business, what's going on currently, growth. How are you going to, systems. If you have employees, how to lead them, and then. There's just so much under the umbrella of owning a business. And then we're women and we're mothers. And so then we also have a life outside of our business. And so balancing cooking and cleaning and taking care of kids, taking the kids to where they got to go. And it's just, and then our womanly duties as well of, the nighttime. It's a lot for a woman to handle all the things that they have to do. So, I mean, I would say it's definitely challenging for a woman, but there are a lot of women that do it and do it well. And it's just a matter of balancing it and just figuring it out as you go along. And, we make mistakes and we just figure it out as we go down that path.
Right. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I definitely will piggyback off you, off of Jeanette. I definitely know that it's super difficult as a mom that part, just like the mom part, being a mom and being an entrepreneur, or being a mom and being a business owner. Forget everything else, like being a wife and being a sister and being a, you always fail at everything else when you're trying to build something, right? So my thing is always like, if I can't, the saying, you can't have it all, right? Like, you're not going to be the best sister. You're not going to be the best mom. You're not going to be the best cousin. You're not going to be the best friend. You're going to suck at a lot of things, right? Because you're so focused and so driven, but you got to be reminded constantly why you even started it, right? Like, so the days that everything goes left, you got to remind yourself why you're choosing to do things right. Like, go the right way, right? And so, like, for me, mom guilt has been a huge thing as a business owner. I have an 18-year-old son, and there were so many times that I missed football games and football practices, trying to build something for myself, because I've only been in this business for 4 years, but I've been trying to be an entrepreneur since 2012. And I've gone to school, gotten my bachelor's degree. I'm 4 classes away from getting my master's degree. I had to work my way up through corporate, and then realizing that I don't even want to be there, So then it's like you do all these things to get all these promotions, and then you're like, why even do that? I don't even like this place like that, right? Like, and you know how many football games I missed, and and then you just feel so guilty that you put all those things ahead. But at the time, like, I remember there was one gymnastic thing that I missed for my daughter, and I remember saying, I know I'm gonna regret missing this. I remember saying that to myself, and you know what I did? I still missed it. Because I had to be at that place at that time. I had to go. I was going to school at the time. I couldn't just miss school to go to this gymnastic, but it was so important for my daughter for me to be there. And I am never, like, it's the one thing I regret, is like, She was like, Ma, can you please, this is like so important. And I'm like, Mommy, I want to, but I can't. And that sucks. Like, men, I feel like it's so understanding if they miss a football game, if they miss a gymnastic. Oh, Papi's working, Daddy's working, he's providing this and this and that. But when mom misses it, it's like, oh,
no, it's
forget about it. Yeah. You dropped the ball. Yeah. You failed in life. So it's just, I feel like the mom guilt for me has been super difficult. Listen, all things business-wise, I think that all of us, men and women, have the same type of difficulties. We handle it a little bit different business-wise, right? Like, hiring people, working with people, having collaborations, having partners, all these things. Men and women both have it, right?
Right.
But I think the one thing that men don't get to experience that women do is that parent guilt. Yes. That's my highlight on that. That's been my difficulty.
I like that.
That's very true.
Yes, very true.
Well, for me, being business woman I think it's a lot of responsibility. We have ups and downs, of course, as always, for almost everything in life in general. I feel my background as a professional ballet dancer has been helping me a lot, because ballet is not easy. So there is a lot of discipline. Like, you gotta do it or you gotta do it. You have to be disciplined in absolutely everything, like your body, your mental health. So I think that kind of prepares me. Since I was little, I was always telling my mom and my dad that I had like this company that it was called Vende Todo, like sell everything. So I was in my room always like doing checks and like, oh my God, I'm making a lot of money. And I was like my daughter's age. I was like 7 years old. So I moved to this country and I didn't speak English. I just moved because of ballet. Like, I went to this ballet competition and I was representing Colombia and I won the gold medal. So that's when I had like all the doors open in the United States, and I moved like without my family. So it's gonna be 19 years that I have been in this country, in September actually.
Wow.
And I was always like, okay, I love ballet because it's my like it's my everything.
Your passion.
Yeah, my passion. But at the same time, when I had my daughter, I was like, what if I don't want to dance anymore? Like, my body might change. Like, I don't, like, I feel like I dance all of the ballets that like any girl will like dream of. But I wanted to do something different. So that's when I started like with the idea. I started like doing the real estate, and I love it because it's also another passion that I have, because I love helping people. That's something that I have that I love it. And of course, like in the beginning, it was hard because I didn't have any family. It was just when I had my daughter, just her and me. And my mom moved recently, so that's something that has been, oh my God, like a lot of help. And I feel like the Vende Todo thing when I was little, it was the dream that it become true because now thank God I've been doing really good and I'm very, very blessed.
And now you're selling everything.
Yes.
You're selling houses, commercial. You go, girl.
Thank
That's
you.
awesome.
Yes.
And it's her birthday month.
Yes, it is my birthday.
It is.
It's so funny because
When is it? When is it?
August 19th.
19th. Okay.
So I get so annoying with that. My whole family is like, oh my God, it's Catalina's birthday month. So yesterday they started celebrating me. Actually, some of my friends like dropped like some gift, like small gift. And I was like, oh my God, you guys are so cute. So yes.
I love that.
That's so
Yeah.
well, it's my birthday month. So.
Jessica, get closer.
I love it. Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Actually, I think that for me, being, I was always on the corporate world. Oh, that's all I knew. I was a single mom, and I was always afraid to get out of it because I'm the only provider for these 3 girls. And I was mom and dad. So knowing that, I had to take one to soccer, the other one to whatever they wanted to do, or, it was crazy. So I know exactly how, the corporate world, they don't care. They don't care if you...
There's no work-life balance.
they don't even care,
Right.
if you're a single mom or anything. They don't care. So I always wanted to just, I was like, I just want to do something that I can manage my time, that I can, and I never really had the opportunity because honestly, the truth is I was just afraid. Mm-hmm. And if you ask me, do you get afraid now? Absolutely. Yeah. But at least I feel like my kids are, old enough now where they don't depend on me bringing in the food. Except one, But except one.
There's always that one.
Is it the 18-year-old?
My 18-year-old. But she'll be leaving me, and then I'm like, don't leave me. So 3 months, I have no kids in my house. So I just felt like it was just it was a good time now for me to try to be me, to do something that I wanted to do. And I did started, as a real estate agent. And I did that for a year. Do I like? I mean, I like it. I think it's great, and it, it's a lot of work. And then I thought a loan officer will be easier, and no, it's not. No. It's a lot harder than being an agent. So regardless what we do, it's nothing easy.
It's gonna have its challenges.
It's gonna have absolutely, exactly. No matter what we choose to do, and I mean, to me, honestly, just being able to do something because I do actually like it now. At first, I was like, I don't even know if I can do this. But now it's really, I do like it. And it's something that I just want to continue to grow. And like I said, being a mom was very challenging. So I know how it is having little ones. And you guys doing this with little ones, like, I'm very proud of you guys because I was afraid. I had no one to back me up, So I was afraid. And you guys getting out there and doing it, it's amazing because when my kids were little, I couldn't do it. But I love that I can do it now. Amazing. And I work every day, get up every day because at the end of the day, we are working for the same thing, and it's our children. Mm-hmm. Because it might not be, I couldn't, probably do for this when they were younger, but I can do it now. And that still means that I'm still be mom and be able to provide. And I tell my daughter, then I'll have my grandkids that I'll be able to, give them what I wasn't able to really do for my little ones. So
that's awesome. No, I mean, I think you guys all made really good points. I do want to touch on Abby's point though about parent guilt. Yeah. Okay, don't leave the dads out of it. Because we got parent guilt.
I just don't feel you guys have it as hard because I feel like when men are full like entrepreneurs, like for example, I could say like my house. I could just speak for me. Let's say that. Mm-hmm. My husband worked third shift for 15 years because we didn't trust anybody to take care of our kids. Mm-hmm. So he worked third shift. I worked first shift. I was working, going to school. and he was working. You know what I'm saying? So he would sleep throughout the day while the kids were in school. He would pick up the kids. I dropped off the kids at school. Like, we had this system, right? The kids always saw him there after school until he had to go to work. I had to go to work. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And then I had to go to school. And so he did the same. Like, I just feel like when he wasn't there, like, it was understood that dad was sleeping. Because if dad couldn't make it to a game, or dad couldn't make it to a gymnastic class or whatever, it was understood that dad had to sleep so that he could go to work because he worked overnight. But if mom missed a game or mom missed a class, it's like, well, why? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? And it was just like, I don't know. I just felt like in my home, and like people that I know that kind of deal with this women wise, I feel like they always feel like there's more mom guilt. And then we want to be there. Maybe that's where our guilt is, because we do really want to be there for them, you know? And it's not like we're choosing money over them, you know? It's just we're trying to provide a better life for them, you know?
You know, there's a book. I don't know if you guys know who Miles Monroe is. Do you guys know who that is? Mm-hmm. So he graduated from Oral Roberts. He unfortunately has passed away, but he wrote a book. It's about men. It's for men, right? Yeah. And it says how, like, you know, and like you see movies like from the 50s and 60s, right? And you see the dads come home, right? And the wife's waiting for him. Right. The kids are waiting for him. Dad's home, right? And they have the
apple pie.
Yeah, with the apple pie.
And the woman is like real sexy. And now the dad comes home and the woman has a man butt. I mean, like the butt on. And she got out
in sweatpants and shorts. No, yeah. So, you know, he talks about that, like that pretty picture, right? Like that white picket fence and the whole deal. Okay, so roles have reversed, right? As the generations have gone on, right? So what he says in the book is that it's really hard for men to please women and their household nowadays because the woman is just as capable. Mm-hmm. Okay, so when I think about that, I go to the parent role also, because I'm like, wait a minute. I'm sure you've heard of stay-home dads.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
okay?
Absolutely.
Right, stay-home dads. So, and then, you know, whenever like our daughter is big into cheer, and so I feel like last year was a real struggle. Like, I think we were all getting burned out. But before last year, like, I couldn't see myself missing a competition.
Right.
And believe me, there was somewhere I was like, quiero ir, I don't want to go, you know?
Right.
But I'd still found a way to go, you know? And like, we would travel and stuff. Well, dad's driving.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. So like, you know, I'd be in charge of just getting her there, you know what I mean? And so I remember, I think it was a couple years ago, I couldn't go. I don't remember what it was. I think something with Josiah, or I don't remember what it was. And I was just out of it. I was like, man. And Jeanette's like sending me videos and stuff. And like, I really never told her that, but I'm watching these videos and I'm like, because I couldn't be there. You know what I mean? Because I've been there since she started, 7 years old.
Yeah, it's been
and now
8
she's
years,
13.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, so those kind of things. And then, but believe me, there's dads that they're like,
they have the dad guilt too.
They got guilt. They got guilt, you know? And I think, especially like if, girls, if they have a girl or a boy, but imagine like the boy, like, for example, my son plays soccer. Mm-hmm. So I can't really, I'm like, man, I can't miss his game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
And you know what? And maybe you just made a valid point. You just said that you never told Jeanette this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's the difference as well. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Men don't really communicate this.
Yeah.
So maybe my husband
themselves.
feels like that too. I don't know. Maybe he feels dad guilt, but he's never communicated it.
You're going to get home today like, do you have dad guilt?
Right. Listen, let's talk. No, but
I know
feel
you're
like,
feeling some kind of way.
Right.
Tell me.
How do you feel about working third shift for 15 years? No, but I feel like women, we talk about these things. We're like, yo, I feel so guilty that I missed this game, or I feel so guilty. And men are just like, they cry and behind closed doors. We don't know about it, you know? So maybe that's the thing.
I think
it's not that communicated as women communicate.
Men are just, I feel like they're just taught to like hold their emotions more than women.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever, you know, I think even growing up, when they show more emotions, and especially if they have brothers, they'll be like, "Ay, no seas, estás joto." Too honest, like, they're just like, dude, you know.
Yeah.
So men are, you know, I feel like what he's saying, like we never hear the men's side of the, you know, or how they feel or being left out, because and a lot of times kids, they just so used to mom being around that, you know, they automatically assume that you're gonna be there, right? Even though that they probably like, they don't care my mom. I don't even care my mom is here. But the thing is that they're just so used to seeing you, we automatically assume that, you know, they just think we're gonna be there.
Right.
And when that shows up, I don't know if you guys notice, like they'll be more like, "Oh, my dad is
So
here,"
happy.
and I'm like, "But I've been here."
We're the fun parent. That's why.
So, but I just think that with men, we don't hear it as much. It's because they're just more.
They're programmed.
They just don't like to show their emotions.
Yeah.
To them, it's more like a, you're being the weak person, but it's not. It's, you know, but that's what I think. That's
Right.
my
To the point of this, let me ask the 4 ladies or the 3 ladies here. Have you guys ever heard of dad guilt? Like, have you heard that
No.
saying before?
I
Dad
don't think
guilt.
so.
No.
I don't think so.
That's just what I'm trying to say. How many times have you guys heard mom guilt?
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's why we don't. It's not communicated.
Yeah.
You know,
That's your next podcast.
That's the next one. Communication.
No,
Dad guilt.
Guilt.
So okay. So we talked about the guilt and we talked about what it means to be a business owner. But do you guys feel that in today's society, women are still looked at different if you own a business?
yeah.
I mean, I feel like it's gotten better, but I don't know.
Listen, we live in Oklahoma. Let's highlight that part. Okay, Oklahoma is the hardest state, and this is facts. This is not something that I'm coming up with. You can look this up. Oklahoma is the hardest state for women to build and grow. This is like a red state. Okay, so we're not given all the tools. I literally was sitting on a panel the other day, and that was like the main conversation. That Oklahoma, it's hard to grow here in Oklahoma as a woman-owned business. And I'm listening to this, right? And I'm like, so I'm Latina, right? We're Latinas. So then we have the language. A lot of us have the language barrier. Not me, you know, because I'm from the East Coast, so I speak Spanish and English.
Se te oye. I can hear the East Coast.
I was born and raised in Providence, and I'm Puerto Rican, so you know. And so I don't have the language barrier, but a lot,
yeah.
Latinas have the language barrier. And how many Latina-owned businesses do we have? And so imagine sitting in a panel with people that speak fluent English and them saying, and they're, you know, they speak fluent English, right? And they're saying that this is the hardest state to actually grow, to actually get like funding for their
Resources.
business. Yes. Capital. That's what access to capital. That's what they were talking about. Imagine Latinas that can't even speak the language, like that don't speak the English fluently, you know, and they're over here grinding and hustling. And I'm just sitting here like, wow, I didn't even think of that as it being because when you're a minority, you're so used to like just fighting all the time for your rights and fighting to get a place in the table or trying to get a little scrap to create your own table little by little, right? That you're not even thinking about that this is just like everyone else is dealing with, you know, this as well. This is just one more thing that you're just dealing with. You know, this could be the main thing they're dealing with, but this is just one more thing that we're dealing with.
Right.
You know?
Right. So what do you guys think? Do you think society still looks at you guys different?
Oh, absolutely.
So, okay. So talking about that a little bit, I have closest friends that they don't speak English. You know, like they moved to this country recently and they're like in the restaurant business, which you have a lot of people who speak Spanish. Thank God. But there are some times that people come and like they don't have the language, you know, like, so I feel it's a lot of work for them. But I'm proud of them. I'm proud of my friends because they have been doing it good, you know. But for me, I don't know. I feel maybe women are gonna hate me, but I feel for me it's a plus to be a woman because I feel I have been the example for a lot of other women, and even in the ballet world, like whenever I was in the company that I got my real estate license, I had like 3 of the other ballerinas that sent me a text message one day. And then they were like, Catalina, you inspire me. And now she lives in New Jersey now and she has her real estate license.
Wow.
And she doesn't dance anymore. My first agent that I hired in my brokerage, her name is Madalena. She also, we used to work with me with the Tulsa Ballet. We both were like lead dancers there. And she got her real estate license and I hired her recently. and another friend that I danced with in Miami. So she messaged me a month and a half ago, and she's like, "Guess what?" And then she sent me a picture of the
Look
exam,
at you. Look
and
at
I'm
you.
like,
That's so awesome.
that's, and also, yeah, I know maybe for some women they feel like intimidated, but I feel like how I have been educated. Like my dad was always like, "You're gonna be the best one," like you got this, and I feel I have been super like confident since I was little. So yeah, we just got this. We're women, but
That's
we got
right.
it.
Women
Yeah.
empowered. Hey.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. I think is we, as a woman, we don't have a lot of other women that feels that way. Like,
Right.
hey, you got this. We got this as women. I feel like a lot of times women make it harder on women
Exactly.
to achieve those goals.
You're right.
I feel like, and they're gonna hate me for that too.
We're gonna touch on that right now. Go for it.
Because it's already hard for us as a woman to prove that we can be a good business owner, we can be a good mom, we can be a good, whatever it is that we do. Is like we have to show it even more, right? And a lot of times, by growing, I hear a lot of women be like, "Oh no, I'm all about empowering women," but then when it comes down to really empowering and helping women grow, they don't do that.
Yeah.
They take their business to a man or someone else because it's less drama or whatever it is. So I feel like sometimes being a woman is harder because other women don't support you like they should. And I feel like there's space for everyone to grow. There's, there's business for everyone. And a lot of times they just, to me, that's it. I think sometimes it's not even men not believing or trusting us or, not wanting us to grow. I think it's the own women not wanting us to grow. So,
I'm 100% with you. Like I feel I'm so chill, I want everybody to do good because why being like envious?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like no, like we all can do it, and I feel it's amazing when like us as a women, like we go to another level because that's how life is. Like I'm super ambitious and I know I want every time more and I have this and I want this, and then my family is like, "Catalina," but like my mom is like, "Cata, chill," but it's because like you wanna prove and you wanna just do the best, like we all can do it.
I just feel if we can grow, if you can grow and you can help other people grow, then that is given. That is
Exactly.
given support, given. So one of my thing is like the more I grow doing this and I can help other women that want to be a loan officer or an agent that wants to grow, if I want to, or anybody, your title company, anything that, if I can level up and bring people to level up with me, that is the best thing because that is given.
Right.
And
That's awesome.
a lot of people don't see it that way. They'll see it more like competition. We are not competition.
Correct.
We are. We can be friends. We
Supporters.
can support each other. We can help each other grow. And I just don't see that as much. So that's my
Yeah, when I was preparing for the podcast, I did think about that, and I just didn't want to do it because I was like, man, me van a piedrar. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to ask that. But the truth is this, and I've seen it, and here's where I've seen it. I'm a big sports person. Jeanette can tell you guys. And you guys know who Caitlin Clark is, right? Okay. So I love Caitlin Clark, right? Because I feel like her purpose is to change the game, And so I feel like the same thing in life, Like I feel like each one of you guys has a purpose, right? But the problem I see is these other girls in the WNBA, they know what she has done, right? And she hasn't even played a full year in the WNBA. Like, they used to take commercial flights to games, and now because of her, they're taking private planes, right? She's got a shoe deal, made $28 million with Nike, right? Unheard of for a woman. right? So she's changing all these things, like the attendance, the views, like on TV, they have gone up. Like, I've never watched a WNBA game till this year. Like, oh, Caitlin Clark's playing? Let me see what's going on. Let me watch it, right? Because I know that she is possible of the spectacular, you know? So, but the problem we're seeing is these other girls in the WA just straight up hating on her.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, why are you hating on her?
Exactly.
Because she's here to change the game. Why don't you join her and try to change the game? You see? And so right now I'm watching the Olympics and I'm watching the guys' basketball team. They have 12 All-Stars and Hall of Famers on this team. You know, LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. And I see how they applaud each other, you know, and they're so happy for each other. They don't care if one of them has 2 points and another one has 30, you know. They care about the win, you know, and they admire themselves. And they even say, man, that move that I have, I actually took it from him, you know. But I don't see the same support on the women's side. And so I'm glad that you touched on that because it's not only in sports, it's also in our regular everyday life.
Yeah, and it's so funny you said that about the sports because I don't know if it was a podcast. I don't even remember where I heard this. But a man said this. Women want the same pay for another player. Like, why can a basketball player make all these $1 million, but not the women? And the guy said, how many women go and sit at these sports?
Exactly.
And support these women?
Exactly.
How many women turn on the TV to watch that basketball game? So I was like, oh, yeah, it's so true. Yeah. So men make more money because all the guys can't wait for basketball season. All the men can't wait for football season.
Right.
And
So
they
true.
sit there and do that. As women, we don't do that.
Yeah.
You know, we're like, oh my God, I hate basketball. But, you know, if you're really, we're not supporting the women to grow and make that money, that we're not supporting them. So maybe it's a start. Maybe we need to start watching more basketball.
WNBA.
Yes.
Go to these games.
Go
They're
to
like
these
$10.
games.
Seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because that's what's going to help grow. So I'm glad you said that because that always stays in my mind about that person saying women want women to make the same type of money, but y'all don't go to the games.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Can I piggyback off that, but on a local level?
Do it.
So like when one of us is doing an event, why don't we support each other there? Like I told me and Janet, me and another one, Catherine, she's a realtor. She's Puerto Rican. So I'm
Man,
like,
I knew I was missing another Puerto Rican. I just was concerned about the noise level. So I was like, I think we can only handle 2.
I love it.
Since I met Janet, and so for me, I don't really view competition or whatever. Listen, there's 101 million agents out there in insurance brokers doing the same. But you know what they're not going to give you? They're not going to give you me.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Only I can give you me. So I don't really view other people as competition. I collaborate as much as I can. I try to show up for women whenever they're doing things. If I can't show up, you know, obviously we have 1,000,001 things going on, you know. So if I can't show up, I try to communicate, hey, listen, I won't be able to make it because of this, but you're in my mind and I wish you the best and you're going to kill it.
Yes.
That's how I rock, you know. And most of the people that I chill with rock like that too. So it's kind of like changing your circle. If you don't like the people around you and they're not giving you the support, you got to change that. You know, who you got around you. I only chill with people that put me in better places. Yesterday, I had a meeting with a VP of a bank. Why? Because one of my girlfriends put me in a conversation that basically did like a link up for me. It was like, hey, listen, you need to meet this girl. She's Puerto Rican. She's doing amazing things. And the lady's Puerto Rican too. So she schedules me a 1-hour meeting. I show up at the bank. I'm like, and my cousin works there, and he's like, "Who you here to me?" I was like, "The VP." And he was like, "What?" I was like,
Jealous.
"Yeah." I show up with my little logo on my shirt, you know. But that's how you gotta just chill with people that put you in those places. And so if you don't like the people around you, if you feel like they're being ugly towards you, listen, sometimes you got to do business with people that you don't really like because it's about the money at the end of the day. It's a business. We can't be personal all the time, right? For personal, my personal is my family. My personal is my kids, my husband, my family. Everybody else is business, you know, for the most part. There's a couple people like Janet, I keep her in my pocket. I love her. Since I met Janet and I met Kat, I'm like, yo, these girls are going to be my girls in real life. Like, didn't I tell you that? I was like, you're going to be my girl in real life because I loved her energy. I loved how
holistic. She came to me. She was so genuine. And so when you spot those people, you keep them in your corner, you know, but then also show up for those people so that they can show up for you. Change your circle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it.
I love
Yeah.
that.
You can't
Yeah.
change the people around you, but you can change the people
That
around
part.
you. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, okay, what are your biggest inspirations for starting a business? We're going to go this way.
Honestly, for me, it was this sounds so selfish. It was me.
Yeah.
It was me.
It should be.
It was like I said earlier, you know, I never got a chance to do something that because I was afraid.
Right.
And this time I changed it and I was like, I'm gonna do this because it's my turn. It's my turn to get up and fight for myself every day. Get up and do this. And yes, at the end of the day, it is my children, it is my family, because we do this for them. And so when I wake up, when they say, you know, what are you waking up for? Like, I want to show up for them, but I want them to be, they've always been proud of me. And I'm so proud of them. I have 3 kids, great kids, they're all gone to college, going to college. I feel like as a mom, I did my part, and I have wonderful women. And so now I feel like, okay, now it's my turn for me to show up for me. So that's why that was my inspiration. And hearing other women's story, like your story, is, you know, just something that they can do it, I can do it.
Yes.
You know, and like I said, like you said, maybe the support system, I need to change my support system.
Girl, you got
So-
one here. You just got, we're going to click up. I already got you on Facebook. I think we Facebook friends. We'll be real life friends.
I love it.
Okay, so for me, I feel, because of course I'm a professional in ballet, so that's what I was doing, right? And that's like so much time that you have to be there. Like, I have to be in the ballet company from pretty much 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. every single day.
Wow.
And like dancing, you know, like not in my computer, no, like dancing, like sport. And I used to go ballet competitions, and then whenever we have performance at the PIC here, or we have to I've traveled like around the world with ballet. So you have to be in the theater like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. From like in the morning, you go rehearsal, and then you go home, like kind of like rest, and then you come back for the performance. And the performance are at night, so you go out of the theater like around 11 p.m. and then the next day you have to perform again. So having my daughter, I was like, I don't feel I want to do that, you know. Especially me being just with my daughter, I was like, how am I gonna do it? Like I didn't wanna, like I didn't trust anyone to like watch her. And so I was like, at some point, I was like putting my daughter in the corner of the theater and like dancing, and then go back and like breastfeed her. Like, it was like crazy.
Wow.
So I really want to have time for myself, for her. And of course, like, it's not that I have a lot of time now, but at least I can manage my time. You know, I don't have to be in the company and then from 8 to 6 p.m. and like stay there. And if I don't go, like my boss is gonna be, you know. So I just didn't want to work for anyone. So yeah, I started like getting inspired about it. I started with Keller Williams, and then I was with them for a few years, and then I went to HomeSmart, and then last year is when I was like, I'm just gonna open my brokerage. And it's funny talking about the main thing, because when I went to do the brokerage exam, so there were like 20 guys and me. And I was like, what's going on here? And of course, all of them were like, oh my God, you be a broker? And I'm like, yeah. And they all were like, of course, like talking. And I got the brokerage license. And I opened the company, and I love it. I just love it. I do, like, ballet now is not my priority, like dancing wise. Like, I went to dance like Swan Lake last year in Colombia, because they had like the 200th anniversary of the National Museum in the capital. And they invited like 2 ballet dancers, which one guy he's Colombian, but he's in Germany, I think. And then me. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go and like do it. But I focus right now, of course, more in my brokerage. And I'm the ballet director of elite dance.
Hey,
So-
you go, girl.
Yeah. So I kind of like manage both, but it's like easier being in the ballet company the whole day.
Right.
So,
Amazing.
yes.
So for me, I mean, I am trying to build a legacy for my family. My goal is, even though I've missed a bunch of stuff for my kids, I want to be able to take my grandkids to Disney in the middle of the week on a random week, you know? So I'm literally building for them. Everything I do is for my kids. I mean, for the longest, I was like in a rush. Because I'm like, I got to make $1 million. I got to make $1 million. I'm like, girl, just... So you know what I did? I went ahead and got me $1 million life insurance policy. So if I pass away, my kids still get the $1 million, because my goal is to make the $1 million for my family, right? So I'm like, listen, but now I'm not in a rush. Now I'm taking my time, you know, because when you're in a rush, you tend to do a lot of mistakes, right? And when you don't have guidance, or you don't have the roadmap, you can fail a lot, right? So, and it's not really failures, it's lessons, right? Because it could be a loss or it could be a lesson. I choose for it to be a lesson because I learn from everything, right?
Yeah, right.
So, but for me, the reason why I chose this path, this crazy, crazy, crazy path, is because entrepreneurship is crazy. One day you're winning, the next day you're losing, and then you win again. You know? So it's like cycle is a cycle. But I chose to do this for my family. I'm building a legacy.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat with everybody. I think for me, being a young mom, I was 19 when I had my son. He was my first sense of purpose, I felt like, in my life when I had him. And then my motivation, and then I had my daughter, and then that was like my main focus, and I was hyper-focused on just that. And then, you know, I was working in real estate through raising them, but never in this capacity. And then I started, as the kids got older and less, they got more self-reliant and taking care of themselves a little bit more, I started thinking, okay, well, what is my purpose beyond being a mom? You know, like, what else is there for me? Because my kids are about to, you know, in a couple of years, my son's going to go, he's starting his junior year of high school. My daughter's starting middle school. So not, you know, time flies, and they're going to be out the house. And then what am I going to do?
Yeah,
And
we're stuck with him all day.
I'm stuck with him all day.
Qué dichosa.
Pray for me.
You got the 3 dogs. You got the 3.
Pray for
I gotta
her.
go walk the dogs again.
Yeah, the dogs are the babies now.
Right.
They're the ones that require all my attention now. But no, you know, touching back on what you said, that you felt like guilty saying like that I was being selfish. I think we have to be a little selfish. You know what I mean? And I don't think there's anything wrong with like taking care of yourself, wanting better for yourself, because if you're not good, if you're you know, your mental health is not good, like, you can't really live a purposeful, effective life. People can't follow you. People can't, you know, rely on you because you're just not okay, you know? And so sometimes it's okay to be selfish and take that extra time off, go to the classes, you know, take a break and go do your nails, go get your hair done, feel pretty, because how you feel on the exterior helps a little bit. I won't say it helps everything, but yeah, I mean, I would say that there's so much beyond just being a mom, wife. We have a purpose beyond that. And so it's just figuring that out. And right now for me, it's just more of a grind and try to set up a more comfortable future for my kids. So my kids don't have to struggle the way I struggled, and they don't have to work for, you know, the rich old guy at so-and-so company. They can come and know that they have a place at mom's, you know, spot. I'm going to ride them hard, don't get me wrong, because that's how I am. I don't, you know, just because you're my kid, you're not going to get a pass. But, you know, at the end of the day, like my son right now, he's at the office building desks and chairs and shelves, and I mean, I'm going to pay him. Because I will.
That's good. No,
But you know what I mean? But it's just like showing that work ethic of like, listen, not everything's given to you. You have to work for it. Absolutely. And just like I had to work for it, you're going to have to work for it too. I'm just here to help make things a little bit more easier for you.
Absolutely.
Right.
You know, in my life, I was always around women. Always. I
Qué
mean,
dichoso.
girl, listen, I've got 5 sisters. I've got 2 cousins who are sisters that they're actually like my sisters. One of them actually just moved from here, from Dallas. My grandma raised me. My mom was always working. My mom's a nurse. But you know, I guess I didn't appreciate that till I got older. And then I saw how tough these women had to be, you know? And so, like, for example, like my mom is, and Jeanette will say this, my mom's never satisfied. You just can't make her happy, you know? I mean, you can, but it's just tough because just nothing impresses her. And so, and she's so like demanding, it feels like at times, like even now, like I'm older, she's like, why haven't you called me? Where are you at? You know, like she's on me. And so, you know, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, my mom. But sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm glad I had this upbringing, you know? And so one thing I've noticed though, and also being married to Jeanette, is a period of separation. You know, I feel like every leader or everybody who's meant to be a leader, because not everyone's meant to be a leader, right? So I feel like every leader needs to really go through a really rough patch, you know? And sometimes you ask yourself, like, why am I going through this? Like, why can't I get my mind straight? Why do I need counseling? Why do I need, and it's because you don't know what's on the other side of when you go through all that, right? So do you guys feel that a leader must go through a period of separation, and that is where the leader is made?
I think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because it's preparing you for what's to come.
Exactly, it's preparing
that
you.
separation period, everything that you're going through, you're just proving to yourself that you can do it alone. So now when you have people in your circle, you can help each other, push each other up, and you're able to understand, like it gives you like the empathy for others when they're going through things. Like it makes you a better leader, because when you're leading for me, there's 2 types of leaders, right? There's the ones that lead in the front and there's the ones that lead in the back. For me, listen, I only have a virtual assistant right now, my son that works for me sometimes, and my cousin. That's it, okay? I don't have a team, and I did that on purpose because I'm working on so many things, and I'm like, I don't have the capacity to pour into people on a consistent basis, you know? So I have to first pour into myself enough, but I have a lot of partners, community partners, people that I work with. I collaborate a lot. I refer a lot of people to, you know, to partners. But I did that intentionally, so that way when I do have my team, I'm able to understand, like, when somebody's having a hard day, mira, be a little bit more compassionate, because you know how that feels. You know what, maybe you wouldn't have known what it feels like if you didn't go through it already, you know? So I feel like you have to be through that isolation period, separation period, that everything tends to go wrong during that time, only so that you can prove to yourself that you have it within yourself to make it,
Right.
you know?
I think that helps to like a lot to grow, you know,
Right.
because those are experiences that maybe you have to go through that at the moment you are like, oh my God, what is going on? You know,
Yeah.
like, because sometimes it's one thing and you're like, okay, but that helps a lot to grow.
It just shows you how strong you are,
Yeah,
like what you
It
can
does.
carry.
Exactly.
It humbles you.
Absolutely.
You know, a lot of times it humbles you. And
You need it.
Yeah, does life have a way of humbling you?
I
Yes,
need
it
that
does.
little moment where you're just like, oh man, you know. But I do believe that it does make us a little bit more strong, and it makes us like
Wiser.
if I can get through this, then you can get through
Absolutely.
harder times.
Anything, yeah.
So definitely, it's not easy.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I think, does everybody here go to church?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or grew up? Okay, abuelita used to take me to church as a kid, you know? And my uncle was a pastor, so I was always in church. And I remember I was a kid when I heard the story of Moses, right? Where he he lived all this luxury life, right? Which really it wasn't his. And so then he escapes to the desert, right? He runs off after he killed a man and everything. And that period, you know, people when they read that or they know about that, they're like, oh, he came back and he freed the slaves. No, to me, the most important part is when he freed himself. Because he freed himself in the desert, right? He didn't free himself when he went and freed. You have to be free in order to free.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta
So,
be-
Nice,
Ooh.
yeah.
so he had to go to the desert and he had to learn, right? And he learned from the Hebrews, which are his people, and until he saw the burning bush, right? And God talked to him and basically put him in his place and told him, yo, this is what you're going to do, and that's it. There's no, and I feel like that happens in our lives. I've actually seen it in Jeanette's life personally, where like, this is what you're gonna do, this is your purpose, and let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard to accept, because even him, right? He was like, man, wait, you want me to go back to where I'm from and do what? Like, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I feel, but we see that in society, and we're like, oh, but that was a man. But it happens to women too.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
I know it's Jenna's turn, but can I just say something real quick just to highlight on that? I feel like during that isolation time, when we don't have anybody else to rely on, who do we rely on? Who do we talk to?
The man
So
upstairs.
that is literally the time that we feel the most empowered, that we feel the most like with more wisdom, more understanding, we have more empathy. But why is that? Because we're literally going through an isolation period that we're just connected to him. And he's literally the one that's talking to us directly. So if we put ourselves more through isolation intentionally, I feel like it will help everybody get closer to their goals, you know, because God already knows our purpose. He already knows what he created us for and all that. So it's just understanding what I need to go to get there. And for me, like, one of my things in life is like, I want to be the person that he created me to be. So I want him to help me get there, you know, and I'm always like, everywhere I go, I always talk about God. I'm not a religious person. I just have a true connection with God, you know, and I believe in God, and I believe in Jesus as the Son of God. You know, I believe in that, you know, and I believe that he died for me. I believe all that, but I'm not going to be here and be picture perfect. I love to rap. I love to listen to hip hop. You know, sometimes I say things. It is who I am, right?
Let's do it.
But with that being said, I have I'm true to myself, you know, and I don't want to be anybody else.
Right.
I want to be Abby. I want to be Abby Saib Bermudez, the person that he created me to be. I want to walk in my I want to walk in my purpose, and I want to be true to that. You know what I'm saying?
She said, I love Jesus and I like Jay-Z too.
Actually, flawless real talk, but you know. But with that being said, like, it's so important through that isolation period to know that why is it that we come out so much stronger? Because we are connected closer at that time to God, you know?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to highlight on that.
That was dope.
All right, Miss Janet, it's your turn, girl.
Man, I'm just gonna say that I just sometimes reflect on my life, right? And I said, man, all the things that I've been through, and God has carried me through every single thing, whether I was connected with him or not. Because there were many times in my life where I was like, I pushed God away because I was ashamed. I did things that I was ashamed of and I was guilty about, and I didn't want to face my reality. And so when I got to a point where I hit rock bottom, I truly did. I mean, I was at a point that I was going to lose my family, I was going to lose it all over again. And I was just like, nope, I'm not going to do this again. I already learned this lesson. I'm not going to put myself through it again. And I literally removed myself from friends, people, coworkers, family that I just felt like didn't align with me getting back up, right? And that was really hard too, because I feel like your family and friends don't get it. They just think, oh, she's too busy for me. And it's not that. It's not that I'm too busy, it's that I'm too focused on getting better. Because if I don't get better, how am I gonna be a good mom or a good, you know, friend, daughter, cousin, whatever, mom, whatever it is. And so, yeah, I just am, every time I'm, you know, feeling a little, I don't know, have self-doubt, or, you know, I'm a lot of things in my head, all I can do is just go to God, and I just put on my Christian music and I just zone in on that and know that, you know, God has carried me this far and he will continue to do so. So
Absolutely.
I think that's what keeps me grounded.
He always does. That's one thing he always showed up for me. Like, I always say that, you know, there were times where it was tough, you know, 3 kids and just me, and I will sit there and I'm like, God will figure it out. God will provide. He always provides. And whether he's not just gonna come and hand it to me, whether it was like, oh, hey, will you go do this job and you're gonna get paid? I was like, there he is, showing up. He uses other people in our lives, just like he removes people. You know, and we don't listen to God when he removes people because we really like that person. Or, man, that was such a good friend. Or, man,
we keep on going back to it.
So just like God removes them, God brings people in your life.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we just don't understand like why you moved that person until you start seeing why he brought in that new person. So a lot of times God has to remove people to bring in new people. And we just have to see that. So God has shown me his grace in many ways. And so I love that we all have that here, you know, that connection, because at the end of the day, like if we really listen and start being hard-headed and just listen to what he's telling us, it'd be a lot easier for us.
Amen, Sister Jessica.
How do you even listen though? You know, you gotta get quiet. You gotta be isolated, because a lot of times people talk to God and then they're like, okay, God, now what? No, you gotta give him some time for him to talk to you. What are you doing for him to give you that answer? You gotta become isolated. You gotta be quiet for a little bit so that you can actually hear him. You know.
You know, people think that, oh, God hasn't talked to me because I haven't heard his voice like this.
Right.
Abby, I'm talking to you. No, you know, and
Is that
you
how
gotta
he talks?
like. I feel like God talks to everyone in a different way. This is what she deals with at home. So
now I gotta have that voice.
Jessica. So I feel like God talks to everybody in a different way. You know, and you just have to learn what way He talks to you.
Part.
You know, whether it's visions, whether it's dreams, whether it's, you know, you're driving in your car and all of a sudden, boom, you know. So,
Your
so
intuition sometimes.
intuition is God too, you know. So, okay. We're coming to the end of the show, but I have a very tough question. That I thought about. I like deleted it and then wrote it back and deleted it and wrote it back. Do you feel modern day women need to be stronger because of weak men?
Ooh. I got a strong man, so that doesn't apply to me.
Say it with his voice.
Okay.
I hear you.
Todopoderoso.
Chill.
So I'm gonna start on that.
Go for it, because I know, I've heard it. Dale.
Oh, say it, girl.
Well, what this is gonna be?
Don't worry, we can edit anything.
Or is this gonna be showing?
Okay, I don't care. So, well, if I talk about things personal, yes, 100%. Because if you have a man, you know, in Colombia decimos que tenga,
Yeah.
you know,
Que tenga huevo. Yeah, there you go.
if he has balls and like you feel supported, you know, I think you can maybe chill a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
So so of course, I'm not gonna mention names. I'm not gonna mention anything, but I have to pretty much do all the work. So, and since I have been like this since I was little, like so independent, and like I'm like this, but I know I have a very strong personality, you know, like when talking about business, competition, like, because I've been competing since I was little in ballet. And ballet was like hard in the beginning. Like imagine me moving, the only Latina in the ballet company. I was first cast, let's say, and I have like 5 other dancers behind me, like Asians who are like really good in ballet. So I have to like since I was little, like being like with balls,
Right.
you know? So if you have a guy next to you that, because of course, like after having that person, like I dated other people and they're like, Kata, like I can, you know, like provide everything, or like even now. And for me, it's hard. I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I got it. Like I don't let anyone doing that. But I feel like finding the right guy, maybe I will chill a little bit more. Because I know a lot of guys like that, but you just need the right one.
I think a lot of men, they're gonna get mad at me. But I feel like a lot of men forgot their purpose, and their purpose was to be the leaders. They forgot to be the providers. They forgot that was, and I'm not saying, I don't know if I'm wording this right, but I feel like you know, a man should be the leader of the house. Even though as a woman we want to be the leader, we don't always want to be the leader.
Yeah.
Like men don't understand that when we're outside, we're like fighting against other women that, you know, or other people, or, you know, trying to be strong, the strong person, and you want to come home and you don't want to be strong.
Yeah.
You know, you want someone to, you want to feel a woman, you want to feel taken care of. And I don't think men see it that way anymore. Men see it more like, oh my God, like I need my alone time, or
And spend 30 minutes in the bathroom.
It's been too much, or, you know, they're just like tough. Like, I don't know, we have no choice but to be strong and provide and be the providers, because they forgot that, you know, I mean, I have met so many, you know, dating and stuff, guys that, you know, they feel like, oh, if we're gonna live together, it's because we're gonna share the bills. Like, they forgot that it's nowadays society made men just think that they made him weak. That's the truth. They did. And yeah, maybe it's our fault when we're like, we're strong, independent women. They're like, okay. We're like, wait, it was not literally, like, not all the time. And I was like,
You scare them away.
yeah. No, and I think so many guys, and I know you probably, you know, you guys are married, but as men do get scared. You know,
Intimidated.
They are.
They get intimidated. They're like, oh my God, you're so strong. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I have to be.
yeah. But they like
Exactly.
it. I have to say, they love it.
They say they like it until they don't, because then we're like, no, you're not gonna do that
Until you're telling them what to do. It's over.
Well, it depends.
if they're gentle. I mean, but I just feel like society did make men a little bit more weak.
So I'll come from, listen, I'm going to leave with honesty because this is the only way I know how to live, okay? I've been married for 20 years, and we've had our fair share of ups and downs through our marriage, right? We are not perfect, you know, but at the end of the day, there's one thing that I always say is like respect and honesty is like the two most important things, you know what I mean? There's been times my husband was the main provider in our family financially, and my job was to provide emotionally, right? And then there's been times that I've made more money than my husband, but he's never viewed it as, oh, she's making more money than me. And I think that for us, it's always been a understanding that the money is for the same goal. We have the same goals, you know? So as long as that is understood, I feel like financially it's never been like, oh, one way or another. But emotionally, when you carry, as a woman, when you're carrying so much more, sometimes you need a little bit of more empathy from your husband and like a little bit more understanding, and not that would make him weak, right? But sometimes they don't know how to be more understanding because they're so used to being so strong. Like my husband met me when I was 13 years old. I was a hothead, okay? I was a crazy little kid, and we grew up together. We got married when I was 18. We had our first kid when I was 19. Like we grew up together. We've grown up. So he's always met me at a certain way. So when you're an entrepreneur and you're a business owner and you have all these extra carries on, it's hard sometimes because you're constantly carrying so much weight. And sometimes you just need like that emotional support, you know? And I think that that's the part that in my life that I've had a little bit of, I'm not saying that has made him weaker or whatever, just saying like and then I have an 18-year-old son. And so with my son, since he was little, I've tried to have him understand that he has to be emotionally intelligent, you know, to deal with women. Because women, regardless, we lead always from an emotional stance. You know what I'm saying? Like we could deal with the whole world. We could be fierce out there. We could go out there, make the bread, whatever. When we come home, we're going to need that emotional support. We're going to need that extra hug at the end of the day. Even if I was mean to you, put that on the pocket. Talk to me about it later. Right now, just hug me. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sometimes, like, if I'm having a hard day, I come home with an attitude, and he's like, who you having an attitude with? You know, trying to check me. Listen, right now, don't check me. Right now, just give me an extra hug because right now I'm just dealing with a lot. You know, so I feel, and when men, when they are dealing as entrepreneurs with all the world, And when the wife sees the man having an emotional moment or having a hard moment, we tend to want to be like, hey, baby, what's wrong? And give them that extra love and give them that extra hug because we understand that's what they need. But I think that men are just not always programmed that way. You know what I'm saying? So when we're having that hard day as an entrepreneur, as a business owner or whatever, sometimes we just need an extra hug at the end of the night. You know, we don't want to be checked that day. Check me tomorrow. Yeah. You know what I mean? So that's where I think that's where I stand from.
Gotcha. Yeah. Anything you want to share, Jay? Be careful with what you say.
I mean, I feel like in our relationship, like Abby mentioned, there's been a lot of times where you held down the finances, and then there have been times where I've had to hold down the finances while you worked on your entrepreneur stuff. And so I feel like for that, thankfully that's like an area in our life that we've always been really fair with each other on, and thankfully have never really fought about money and things like that. So I feel like that's such a huge blessing because I know that that's a lot of a tough topic for a lot of relationships. But financially is just one area. And then, like you said, the emotional area is a whole nother, I think, challenge between us because we also grew up with each other. You know, we've been together since we were 16, and Eli can walk through the door, not say anything, and I can feel his energy, whether he's okay, sad, mad. He doesn't have to speak. I can just feel it off of him. And that's when I'm like, and I think I know Eli good enough now to be like, ooh, he's mad. I'm gonna go over there because everybody handles their emotions differently. There's some people who are mad and upset and don't want anybody to touch them. You know what I mean? And then there's some people like women that are like, I'm mad.
Give me a hug.
But as soon as you hug me, I will break out crying. So it's just it's just really hard because everybody is their unique person. And I think just as long, and I tell Eli, I'm like, I just want to be able to communicate where we're on a level, we're feeling okay. Like, I'm going to tell you, like, I'm upset about something after the fact because when I'm heated, the conversation's gonna go left. It's gonna go left. So the best time to have like those hard conversations are when your emotions are calmed down and you're thinking clearly, and I say, I feel this type of way or this happened and it caused me to, act this way. So can we not do that next time, Because there's versions of myself that come out that I don't like. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like some versions of me, and then, a couple hours later, I'm like, ooh. I'm sorry, guy.
That wasn't me.
Yes. I'm like, I'm sorry, I messed up. And then there's days where I'm stubborn, and because sometimes we'll have fights for days. And because we're both stubborn. So it's just, it depends, so much. I think there's a lot of weak men out there. There's a lot of strong men. And then there's a lot of in between.
I think it's like the emotional, right now the main thing is like the soft girl era. Everybody wants to just live a soft girl life and lo que sea, right?
Sí.
That's not in my DNA. I'll never be a soft girl. Yeah. You know what I mean? But sometimes I don't want to, like with my husband, I think that one of the things that I've talked to him the most is that, like, because, men, they like to check things, right? They don't want to be disrespected. That's the main thing with men. You cannot disrespect, okay? And with women, too. We don't want to feel disrespected, right? But respect is a big thing, and men is like a big thing to their ego y lo que sea. Sometimes if you're just carrying yourself a certain way, I feel like just having that emotional intelligence, like you said, how your man feels the minute he walks through that door, right? And his love language, how to treat him. And I feel like the same way for her because you guys been together for a long time.
Exactly.
And sometimes communication, we always hear communication is key, right?
Right.
Pero también having an understanding
of how to communicate.
That part. Because some people just talk and they don't listen. Yeah. They're already, if you're talking, let's say me and you're having a conversation, and the minute I stop talking, you're already talking. You didn't even hear what I said because you was just thinking about the answer that you was going to give me, how you was going to come at me the minute that I finished talking. You didn't even hear what I said. You didn't even hear my tone. You didn't hear my demeanor. You didn't hear the hurt. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's like so important. I feel like communication, understanding, but then also having that emotional intelligence. Like when we're thinking about strong men or the itch assness, right? Tú sabes.
Yeah.
Bitch assness.
¿Cuál es ese? Because I don't
Never
know.
heard of that one. What is?
It's like the men that don't really know how to deal with, like they're very sensitive, right? But it's not that they're sensitive, it's just that they're not emotionally intelligent,
Yeah.
So when we're talking about strong men, listen, my man's strong. Is he emotionally intelligent all the time? No, he's not. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's one of our biggest, like listen, my man can hold his own. He could fight. Homeboy has been in many scuffles in his life. That's not a thing. But can he hold, and financially, he could hold it down. But can he hold it down emotionally intelligent? No, not always.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
I got you.
Yeah, I think, can I add something really quick?
Do it.
So whatever you guys are saying, I'm 100% with you guys because I feel everything is, communication is a plus, right? But you have to know when to do it. Like, because there is that tense moment and then both are like, and it's going to be like, so it's like, okay, let's find the best moment to talk. And like, if you are one, like I'm one person that I like to relax first and then, okay, let's talk. Because if no, that happens exactly like Jeanette said. She, like, if you start, like, I can say things that I'm going to regret later. So I think it's a teamwork too. I love.
Yeah.
I know I'm strong, but I love strong men. Like for me, I love strong men, but not strong with me. You know?
Right. Be gentle with me.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Like affection is
Yes.
like I'm just about
Like
that.
treat me like what I am, a woman.
Yeah, I'm a woman, but I'm a baby sometimes. You know? Like I can be a baby in the water park with Kata. Like, things
No,
like that.
that's exactly what I meant earlier. Like, yes, we have to be strong.
Yes.
When we're out there. But when you are,
Right, when I go
when
home
you
and-
want to go home with the person that you're with,
Yeah.
you want to be
Yeah.
a baby.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And if you want that extra hug, like
Yeah.
you want it from that person.
Absolutely.
Yes,
So,
yes.
and every situation is so different. People's personalities are so different.
Yeah.
And that's, one of the things that learning your person and their personality is so important because that's how you know how to approach them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love you guys. Sorry. This thing is over.
I'm sorry.
This thing is in my way.
It's not Latino proof. Because we talk with our hands.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, sorry.
We need to do one where it's like, we need a Latino one that is probably hanging. No, I love you guys' story. I always feel like, I was telling my sister, she's been married to her husband since they were like 18 or so. And I feel like those relationships are the ones that last the longest because you grow with that person. And you go through different stages in your lives. They say people change every 10 years. And as you guys grow in
I think it's like every 3.
She like right away
Every month.
now.
What time is it? Let me see who I want to be today. No.
Well, yeah. I mean, you did say it was
Yeah.
like different personalities. Yeah, it was her. Yeah.
I keep it. I told her that when we first started this, I was like, my husband don't ever get tired of me because I have like 5 different personalities. You never know which one he's gonna get.
So I just feel like marriage is that when you guys were, when it starts young, it's whenever and you grow together.
Yeah.
It makes you, because I kind of learn to have the same personality, have the same
Yes.
goals. Sometimes you
kind of merge with each other.
Yeah.
It's a choice. It's a
Yeah.
choice, right?
Yeah.
Like you choose to want to grow old together. It's not easy. It's not like some people see people that are, especially in this generation, bro. In this generation, like back in the day, people talk about this a lot. I know we got to cut, but back in the day,
Go for it.
back in
Avanza.
the day, no, back in the day, women would stay with their husbands for 30, 60, whatever
Yeah.
years. But era because a lot of times women couldn't, first of all, into like the 1970 or something like that, or I don't know. I saw statistics, Gay. It was like to a period of time, women couldn't even buy their own homes under their own names. Después era the other one, Social Security would go under husband's Social Security. The women had to pull from husband. So it wasn't like they could even leave if they wanted to.
Right.
You get
Right.
what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, but in this generation, we could leave if we want to, you know,
Right.
and to stay together is a choice.
It's a daily choice.
You can pick
ch-
now who you want.
You can, and you can pick on a daily. You can pick today you want this one, tomorrow you want that one, you know?
Not your husband.
Jeanette, who do you
Not
pick
your
today?
husband.
No, you can't.
Better.
You can pick, but you choose to pick the same
Yeah.
person every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a choice.
Who would you have picked 2 days ago?
So you.
Ves, ¿tú viste? ¿Cómo cambia?
Which personality are we talking about? You know?
All right, so we're gonna end it on. I like to end stuff on like a fun thing, right?
Oh my God, I love that song.
Okay. So it's late at night. You guys are hungry. What's your go-to snack?
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
What chocolate?
I like coconut with dark chocolate and coconut. I have a bag. You know, like
Okay. Kata.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. What kind of ice cream?
Haagen-Dazs.
Which Haagen-Dazs?
Dulce de leche.
Oh, I haven't tried that one yet.
Cereal. I mean,
Cereal?
Captain
You're
Crunch.
such an East Coaster, bro. You like soggy cereal?
Captain Crunch.
Calm down, Cardi B. Jeanette?
McDonald's chocolate chip cookies.
Cinnamon rolls for me all day long. Cinnaholics. Yeah.
I've never had one.
It's so good. You guys gotta try it. They're gluten free. They won't blow you. So I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. I am extremely proud of each one of you.
Thank you.
Keep doing what you're doing. Keep shining that light, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
All right. Peace out, everybody.